You're not stuck because you're too old. You're stuck because your 20-year-old self is still in charge. That's not procrastination. That's just an identity mismatch. And today, we're calling it out. You can tell your younger self is still in charge when your actions are driven by outdated fears. You keep playing small, even when you're ready for more. You second guess your instincts, or you undervalue your work, or you silence your ideas, not because you lack ability, but because a much earlier version of you learned to play it safe. And unless you update who's calling the shots, those old patterns quietly keep the lead. It shouldn't feel radical to want more at 60 or 70 or 95, but it kind of is, isn't it? The world quietly suggests that your hunger should fade, that your ambition should calm down, that you should want less the older you get. But the truth is, desire doesn't fade with age. It just waits for you to stop ignoring it. And if something in you is still lit up, or curious, or craving more, that's not a problem to solve. That's your next chapter calling. You can be decades into your life still feeling the pull towards something bigger and still be deferring to beliefs you picked up before you even knew who you were. Beliefs that were shaped by approval or survival or fitting in. And it's sneaky. That younger version of you learned how to stay small to stay safe, how to be good, how to choose what was practical instead of what was calling you. And maybe that served you back then. But now, the life you want, the next level of joy and freedom and peace and fulfillment, won't come from following outdated rules that were never meant for the person you've become. So now, just thank the younger version of you, and you take the lead from here. So let's talk about what that actually looks like. First, your 20-year-old self made decisions from survival, not vision. When you were younger, you probably weren't thinking about what lit you up. You were trying to navigate expectations or do the right thing and make people in your life proud. Maybe you were still living at home, or you were in college, or you were just starting to figure it all out. That's totally normal. But those years left impressions. And some of those early survival mode beliefs got baked in as permanent truth. Like, don't make waves, be realistic. Wanting too much is selfish. So now, when something bigger calls to you, when you feel ready for more money, more creativity, or more freedom, that old voice whispers, that's not who we are. And just like that, the brakes go on. Not because you're too old, and it's not because you can't have it. It's because a younger version of you is still holding the rule book. The second thing to look at is the old identity doesn't match your current desire. And this is where a lot of people get tripped up because they feel the desire. They know they want something more, but every time they try to move toward it, something stalls. That something is usually identity. If your self-image is still built around who you used to be, maybe someone who was always the quiet helper, or didn't make much money, or got told they weren't creative or business minded, then your subconscious still believes that's you. And when your identity doesn't match your goals, your nervous system panics. You self-sabotage, you second guess. And it's not because you're weak, it's because you're still trying to grow a new life with an old story. You don't need more hustle. You need an updated sense of yourself. The third thing is You don't need to become someone new. You just need to become more of you. And this part surprises people. You don't need to reinvent yourself. You need to reclaim the version of you who already knows who she is, but hasn't been fully in charge. That's the version of you who doesn't shrink in rooms where she belongs. She doesn't need external approval to trust her instincts. And she doesn't apologize for wanting something extraordinary at any age. She's not some imaginary future version. She's already in you. She just needs permission to lead. The younger you, she did her job. She got you here, and she's still part of you. But she's no longer qualified to make your decisions. Let her rest. Let her retire. Let her know she's not being pushed aside. She's just not driving anymore. So let's pause here just for a quick moment. If any part of this hit something real for you, if you feel seen or called forward, go ahead and like this video. It genuinely helps me out. And if you want more content like this, subscribe while you're here. So, what does it look like to fire your 20-year-old self? It looks like you no longer asking for permission from someone who didn't yet know your power. It looks like you no longer filtering your goals through outdated fear. It looks like you no longer trying to play it safe. Safe was never the point. Feeling fully alive and present in your own life, that's the point. And when you finally give your present self the authority to lead, everything changes. Thanks for hanging out. Next chapter coming soon.